So yeah, this is starting to get a little complicated. Um, got a gear. What do we got? A gear here. I bought this 2M gear. That's probably the best thing. That way, at least I know that's accurate. And I got the original gear that's messed up. And here's the gear I need to make that was pre-made but is off. It's been hardened. So I'm going to grind it down to size. I got the diameter about right. Now I'm going to get to the teeth by using this grinder with this really nice grinding wheel on it. I got it from China. Seems like it'll work. It's a green grinding wheel. It'll get in that gear socket. I'm going to test this thing for how far off I'm at. I'm just getting, this thing, there's some play in it, I'm sure. So I'm going to have to eyeball it and try and use the indicator and whatever I can do to figure out where and how deep I need to be. So that's the real trick, but I got it as close as I can get it, and I'll try and line it up even better as I go along here. But let's see if I can get it to work. That would be really cool. It might not. If I have another chance at it, I have 2 of these gears. So if I'm a little bit wobbly, I could go too deep on one side and not deep enough on the other. I'll try and kind of accommodate for that. So that's what I just got to do it like that. Figure out where the high spots is, if I've got one. Yeah. All right. There we go. Let's talk about precision here. We got to get, let's see, what can I use here? This is a little little square piece. I stuck it into the teeth there of the gear. See how that is? That's, I don't know if we can zoom in on that or not. Yeah. Okay, so there's a gap there. That's on the tooth that I'm working. It's the master. Now, I'm going to take this back. Take a look at it. I can get in there. So much stuff in there. Can I zoom in on that? There. Okay, let's push this back a little bit. See? Just at the very back, it starts to touch. Why is that? Why is it touching back there? Okay? So it's saying it's not lined up, I don't think. There's a little, I gotta make that the same on the front as it is on this, is in this back, the working gear. So I think that's one way to get this thing to line up. Because it only has to line up to itself and to the shaper. And this is, instead of taking readings, we just take this straight edge, we'll call it, and try and fix that. It means I have to loosen a few things up, which it's going to go really wonky if I do too much. So I'm going to save this and do it a little bit later. It's kind of a delicate operation, it looks like to me. Okay, so the back end, the part in the back here, it's kind of, let's see, where am I? So this back here, the back side, so coming back here, what am I going to do? Oh man, this, I have to clean that. This is, I guess either this one or this one I have to loosen up and just, that was, let's see, the front ones, and shove it this way a little bit. I think that's the way, just a tad, or just the whole thing has to go, you know, like that, or come both of them. I don't know, to get it to line up and maybe get a better straight edge, but that will work for now, as far as I can imagine anyways. Okay, so this is just a slight bit off. I thought I could adjust it by moving this, but that's not it, because it's being held in place by this. To get this angle, to be able to move this at all, you're going to have to adjust this also. So that's what I've made. So that adjustment, I can put some washers in here and bring it back this way so I can get more angle on this one. It's coming down a little bit too straight, just barely, but it's enough that's bothering me. So I'm not getting that involute quite. It's coming down a little bit straight. So if I can get more angle, I'll angle this up here through at that point where that blue tape is. I'll just bring it a little bit more if I need to, which I already did move it, but I can't. Now I'm gonna have to move this gear rack back a little bit to adjust for where that's sitting. That's what's gonna, so that requires some washers in here, and that should fix the problem. And what was the other problem? So I thought maybe this was wobbling a little bit. It's not that, you know, this was wobbling, but it's not that bad. It's just that it was off by whatever. Because as you look at it, I'm not digging that deep. I don't think I'm taking the final cuts yet, so. But I'm learning. I took bigger cuts. I started off on the smaller size. I think it was on 40 is the smallest I can go. The bottom ones are stripped out or something. So I can cut at 40 or 50, maybe 30. I'm not think so, but all these ones work. So I was cutting at 60, and then I dropped back down to 30. That seems reasonable fast. This one, if I did it, it would cut too much. I'd like to have just cut the thing, go enough distance to cut the next angle on the as it turns, as this thing is turning around, it'll turn a little bit more instead of taking little nibs at it, like the bigger cuts or the bigger angle adjustments. Okay, so those are the two things that are adjustable there. Everything else seems to be kind of good, pretty good. I put in the switch for that, so I have a switch, and so I can turn it on and off, and it goes good. All right, I'll come back and work on that later. Okay, I'm gonna have to. The whole thing's gonna have to be moved back. I have to loosen up the other side, and then put a washer in here. That'll bring this part back just to here. So I think that's what I want.